Back at the turn of the millennium, see what I did there? Yu-Gi-Oh! Aired for the first time. I know every one of you would wake up Saturday morning and rush to the TV to catch the latest episode. Nostalgia is a powerful thing, and does it mask how good the show really is? To test this, I rewatched the pilot episode of the 4Kids dub as a bit of a science experiment, so that I could determine if this was true. Now I know we're here to talk about the original anime, but I would be remiss if I didn't at least touch on the card game. Back in the day, there were no rules, at least for season 1 of the anime, and this was very fun.
Are you winning, son?
Yeah, Dad, I just summoned Blue Eyes White Dragon.
But then compare that to now.
Are you winning, son? Son?
Hand traps, tin pie, malice. First off, one thing I want to say about the Yu-Gi-Oh! 4Kids dub is that the dubbing is iconic. Dan Green and Eric Stewart as Yugi and Kaiba respectively really remind me of my childhood. I may be biased, but I think the dub is low-key actually good. And there are a bunch of memorable lines and great energy. Basically everything you could ask for as a kid watching the series. The dub does provide some iconic moments, such as
draw your last pathetic card so I can end this, Yugi. You're a disgrace to the game, Yugi.
It should have been me, not him!
Which I suppose are kinda memes now. Great stuff. Now the animation for the time is good. However, it doesn't really hold up today. This is really to be expected from a series that released back in the year of 2000. But compared to other series released in 2000, such as Cardcaptor Sakura, Inuyasha, and Hajime no Ippo, I do personally think it pulls its own weight. One thing I do enjoy is the lack of CGI, which is very common nowadays. You're not gonna find a series that doesn't really use CGI anymore. Like I said, it is difficult for Yu-Gi-Oh! To kind of hold up to today's standard of animation. However, I do feel that it is a great introduction anime, especially for, the younger generation that might want to, eventually end up like us weebs. Now, I'm gonna discuss the arcs of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. Duelist Kingdom was the Wild West. There was no rules in the card game itself, and basically, you didn't know what was happening at all. However, Duelist Kingdom did have some great moments, and I do think that Pegasus was a great villain for the first arc, and a good introduction. But Battle City is really where I feel like the series went up in quality. I feel like Battle City holds up better than Duelist Kingdom nowadays. I really did enjoy the plot with the god cards, and bringing in the Egyptian history. I felt like that was a very enjoyable aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh! So to end off, I do think nostalgia plays a major part in how we look back at these shows, especially Yu-Gi-Oh! However, it's not like there's just nothing there. Me personally, I would not be an anime fan if it weren't for Yu-Gi-Oh! It was my first anime that I ever finished/watched, and I remember getting the VHS tapes from Blockbuster and being so excited to just, watch Yu-Gi-Oh! But I have to give it a bunch of praise and just say thank you for existing, and thank you, Kazuki Takahashi, who passed away a couple years ago. Rest in peace to Kazuki Takahashi. Now, anyways, I'm gonna go rewatch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge series, and you should too.